Hey there, welcome back to Ask Amy. I have a question today from Lisa. So Lisa says, I've had a fear of danger and risk for most of my life coming from a very overprotective father. It could be a fear of heights, escalators, edges, and in this particular instance, it shows up when I'm riding a bike downhill. This fear seems to have gotten worse over the past few years. I've tried riding my bike frequently as exposure therapy, and I've definitely tried being aware of the thoughts and sensations as they arise. But my body seems to take over, and I can't stop myself from applying the brakes really hard. That means every bike ride with a downhill in it, even a small slope, I create more evidence that this story is true. With heights or escalators, I often freeze and feel that I can't physically move, although I've had hypnotherapy for this and it's a lot better, but not perfect. My body freezes and I can't step onto the escalator, or I start to and then I withdraw. How do I overcome these physical restrictions so that I can enjoy the activities I want to and not just continue to reinforce something that I know is only a thought and not real anyway? Okay, so I love this question, Lisa. I want you to consider that these reactions that happen, your body just having this involuntary, old, conditioned response or reaction, is not it's not proof that anything is true. And it's not doing that to you. So I kind of get the sense that that's another kind of thought in this for you that's feeling really restrictive and really scary. Like, oh, look, and it's understandable, so understandable that it would look this way. But I'm maybe off on this, but it kind of sounds like you're feeling like, look, I'm trying to ride my bike downhill. I'm leaning into the thoughts and feelings. I know this is okay, but when my body involuntarily does this, it sets me back somehow, or it reinforces the pattern, or it proves, that there's a problem here. And that's going to feel like a big problem, right? Of course it is, right? And that's kind of, I think, the question that you're asking, from that place of this feeling like a problem that's almost getting worse every time this happens. And I just want you to see that this involuntary reaction is just an involuntary reaction. It doesn't reinforce anything. It doesn't prove anything. It's like trying to turn the light on in your room and it not turning on and saying, oh, that reinforces the belief that I should just sit in the dark. Well, no, it just means the light bulb's out or something's wrong with the light. See if you can get a feel for this happening, that being the same in your body. So it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, that these old fears show up and your body has a response. Of course it does. That's just the way human beings work. Now, you've come a long way, it sounds a really long way, in seeing that these fears are safe, that they're just old conditioning, that they don't have anything to do with your life now. Just even the fact that you try to get on escalators and ride bikes downhill is a huge testament to that, right? Like you really are on to the fact that this is old stuff that has nothing to do with your actual safety right now. And that's amazing. Now, your body just isn't quite there yet. And that's how this goes. We intellectually kind of have some insights. We see some things. We get how it works. But this body-mind system, it takes a little bit sometimes for it to catch up. But it does start to catch up. So I want you to kind of consider that your body's just playing out the old thing, and see if you can meet those reactions with just kind of like, wow, of course you're here. Of course you are. You aren't a problem. You aren't reinforcing anything. You aren't making anything worse for me. You're just showing up because you're part of the remnant of this old thought that shows up. When you can marvel at that, when you can kind of thank it, hey, thanks for trying to protect me. I'm good, but thanks for trying to protect me. When you can see the humor in it, maybe, and you don't have to always, trust me, I get it. Like you want to ride your bike and this thing happens, and there's going to be frustration at times. There's going to be all kinds of things, and that's all very normal. But that's all just what's arising too. So you, Lisa, get to sit in a space of everything that's showing up is part of this absolutely perfect intelligence of life. And although your mind doesn't like it, your mind sees that it's, not helpful anymore, not protective, and you want to be over it so you can do certain things in life, your body hasn't caught up, but it will. The more it looks like a problem that gets pushed against, then it takes a little longer. So, and the more on the flip side, the more you can just be like, wow, isn't it crazy how our body mind works? How my leg is still pressing the brake, even though I know it's okay. And to just be light with it, your body will start to catch up. And again, a huge part of that is seeing that these reactions are not keeping you stuck. They're not reinforcing anything. They're just reflecting what's still there and what you can continue to lean into and feel into, and that will keep deepening for you. So I hope that helps and makes some sense. There's no better or worse. I don't have a magic wand to make this reaction stop, but that's sort of where the real change happens, is when you can be at peace even with it not stopping, however that looks. And just truly, truly open to it not being an issue, it being a beautiful function of our design. That's often when things really start to shift. So thank you so much for sending your question. Let me know if it's helpful or what you hear in this. And thanks everyone for listening. And you guys can send your questions to askamy@thelittleschoolofbigchange.com. And I'll be here next week with another one. Have a great week.